I'm Nate Moyer with Lula, and today we're speaking with one of our partners, Josh Zupfer, VP of Portfolio Services at Renter's Warehouse. Josh, for someone who doesn't know much about Renter's Warehouse, can you share a little bit more about the business and why it's unique and stands out in the property management industry?
Renter's Warehouse is a full service end-to-end property management and buy-sell solution. Think if you need to buy a home, sell a home, we have option there. If you want to rent your home, we have an option there. And if you want to do it all, we can essentially handle it from end to end. And then handle all aspects of property management, from rent collection, HOA management, to maintenance, to leasing, kind of, you name it, the standard pillars. We have about 10,000 what we consider corporately owned doors in 21 markets. We have a franchise model that has about 67,000 additional doors across the countries.
You've been in this industry for quite some time. What have you seen change the most in the last 2 to 3 years?
Technology. I think the people, the vendors, the strategy when it comes to managing homes is familiar, but the tools being used to do it has changed dramatically. And it's also become very data-driven. Analytics, KPIs, and the ease that you can get them are really driving decisions and basically all aspects of property management and making operators change the way they do things.
Speaking of technology, maintenance has been greatly impacted by a lot of improvements across the board. Can you share a little bit about how you guys approach maintenance and using technology?
First off, I'd say maintenance really starts at the vendor level. You can have all the technology, you can have all the bells and whistles, but really the people doing the work and managing that aspect is in my opinion, the most crucial part. And so technology, though, the way we can manage compliance with vendors, there's many companies out there that help us manage, again, compliance, certifications, and just key KPIs is extremely important. And then on our end, automation around keeping owners and residents informed is one of the most important things, right? No update is the worst update, is kind of what we say around here. Is even if something's taking long, having the ability to send a push notification saying we're still working on your request, giving them timely updates, whether on if a vendor's been assigned, if we're waiting approval from a homeowner, stuff like that. It's really leveraging the ability to automate those things instead of having someone manually behind a keyboard sending out these notifications where things might be missed. That's where we're really leveraging technology is the communication piece.
If you had to use 3 words to describe the maintenance operations at Renter's Warehouse prior to working with Lula, how would you describe it? And then what has it been like since working with Lula?
3 words. I would say manual, lack of scalability. That's 2 words, but I'm going to go with it. And then untransparent. To clarify, is untransparent or lack of transparency. Lula provides a lot of in-depth analytics and that we really didn't have in the past around key aspects of a work order, like tech on site time, arrival times. We have global type statuses where we can see like how long it's been in a vendor's name or something along those lines. But Lula's really given us some insights on every single little detail. Scalability has and always will be a challenge because not every vendor is in every market. Not every vendor has capacity in every market. And so that was a challenge. And Lula has helped us bridge that gap, whether we're going into a new market or we're just having general vendor challenges. And then manual was our previous it was assigning vendors. It was sending out notifications, was very manual. But we've actually had the opportunity to integrate with Lula into our system where we can auto-assign work orders and we can send them updates where our systems talk, and it cuts down on that back and forth timing.
When you were first evaluating working with Lula and having us help execute and solve a lot of the maintenance challenges you were experiencing, what were some of the things that stood out and gave you confidence that this was a partnership that would work?
Anytime you're working with a vendor in general, I look at collaboration because every vendor is different. Every vendor has the ability for them to do certain things, especially a large, I'd say I call them national, for vendors with a national footprint. And so their willingness to collaborate with us on what we need them to do versus this is how we do it. I think you have to have both of that because not every operator is the same and not every vendor is the same. And so their willingness to collaborate, whether it's just basically starting with an email to dispatch approach to see how things go. It wasn't a full scale integration. It wasn't, we need 50% of our work orders or anything like that. It was like, let's give us a shot. And that's the only true way to test a process in maintenance is let's give it a shot and build upon it. And so they've really been a good partner and a strategic partner instead of, just we want as many work orders as possible.
What have you heard from other team members at Renter's Warehouse, in particular those in the field who are in the day-to-day grind, and what their experience has been like now that Renter's Warehouse and Lula are working together?
I'd say similar response is collaborative, right? Going back to the not every experience with every vendor is going to be perfect all the time. And it's really easy to pull the plug on a vendor when they get something wrong or they screw something up. And so I'd say the general consensus is Lula's willing to work with us and sit down and have a conversation of what went wrong and fix it moving forward. So, and that goes big to the person doing and processing the work order. That's very important that, hey, you're hearing us, you're understanding our needs. We're the ones talking to the owner and what they're experiencing. So that's been the biggest thing from the team member side is they're collaborative and they're willing to work with us to make changes and improve on things.
What would you say has been the largest impact or the most significant impact on the business when thinking about processes, orders, operations, or even just general efficiencies?
Say two things. One is the integration piece. A lot of vendors don't have that capability. And the ones that do usually are so big and large scale that they don't focus on the individual client needs. It's more of, again, this is how we do it. And so we've really been able to customize. And then number two is it allowed us to roll out some set pricing on a lot of services that we provide to our owners, especially seasonality pricing like winterizations, HVAC tune-ups. Those are things that we historically have had troubles getting set pricing across the board where we can advertise, we can market. This is how we, across the board in all of our markets. Those are two big things that I'd say Lula solved for us by partnering with them.
If you were advising another property management company on how they could level up their maintenance and operations, what 2 to 3 things that you would suggest they improve upon first?
It's a good question, Nate. I would say focus on scalability is very important. Not putting all your eggs in one basket. We think Lula is a great partner. And we give them a very large amount of work orders, but also they're not our only partner. So we tend to leverage a company like Lula and then also local market presence. We need that flexibility. So maintain that flexibility, but also identify your partners, which ones are going to help you scale, which ones are going to help you be more efficient. And then the other thing is going back to don't pull the plug too quick on vendors that are willing to collaborate with you. Every operator has different expectations and every vendor works differently. If a vendor's willing to grow as a partner with you, I think the leash is a lot longer than them not willing to grow with you. And then look at pricing. I have a saying that the cheapest, fastest, and the best quality, right? You're rarely going to find all three. If you find 2 of them, great. And if that partner's willing to work with you, continue on.
What's one of the most common mistakes you see amongst property managers that they do make with maintenance?
Relying too much on automation is great, right? It can help you with the simple stuff, but I think there is such thing as, we live in a world of AI, like AI fatigue. What we do well is we have people on the back end that once we get to a point, we're going to pick up the phone and we're going to call somebody. We're going to pick up the phone and we're going to walk through it. Making sure you have that out where a human person can get on the line instead of constantly going through prompts and AI chats and such is extremely important.
Property management is still a people's business.
The people's business, correct.
Well, Josh, I appreciate your time. Thanks for speaking with me today. For those who were watching or listening in, if you want to learn more about Renter's Warehouse, you can check them out at renterswarehouse.com. And for more on Lula, check us out at lula.life. All the links down below. Thanks.